So Abasolo is really the result of a natural inertia. I started 11 years ago working in a partnership together with Moy and Danny. We first developed our mezcal, Montelobos. We continued rescuing an old recipe of ancho chile called Ancho Reyes. And since that happened, we started to realize that the potential of Mexico is infinite. Our core purpose in Casalumbre, the company we have built together, is to trap the sensorial, biological, and cultural patrimony of Mexico into spirits, and to tell the story of these extraordinary raw materials that originated in this country and that has been part of our essence for centuries.
Estamos en el municipio de Calimaya, donde se siembra y cultiva el maíz cacahuacintle. A las faldas del Nevado de Toluca, que es la zona con el nicho ecológico para el cultivo del maíz cacahuacintle. Es una zona con un clima frío, con un clima templado. La agricultura aquí es de temporal, caen aproximadamente 1000 milímetros de agua al año. La cantidad de agua óptima para el cultivo. Un día de trabajo consiste en alistar a la gente, o sea, programarla y pues obviamente ir a los campos, revisarlo, que las actividades programadas se realicen de la manera más adecuada. La materia prima es tal vez lo más importante, porque el sabor es la verdadera razón detrás de todo. Tiene que estar fresco y tratamos de conservarlo en su esencia más pura. Nos alejamos de los transgénicos. Nos queda claro que más allá de la cantidad, se trata de calidad. Es sorprendente que un alimento tradicional tan ancestral para nosotros hoy también pueda dar vida a un producto como este. Este maíz ha sido protegido y seleccionado por nuestros antepasados, por más de 5 generaciones de agricultores, de familias, de gente trabajadora. Este es nuestro alimento sagrado y hay que tratarlo como tal. Cuando la gente prueba este whisky, no solo están tomando un whisky mexicano o una bebida con un sabor único. Están probando una pequeña parte de nuestra alma, de algo que vive en nosotros y de aquello que nos hace ser lo que somos. Este no es un trabajo, es un momento único en el que nos unimos para honrar la cultura del maíz.
Nixtamalizations is a process that involves cooking the grains that once they are out of the cob in an alkali solution. Traditionally, this is done because in the water you can either put ashes or chalk, this white chalk typically in construction, calcium oxide, and it will change the pH. It will make it really, really high, and it will transform completely the grain. One of the things that's going to happen, you have to cook it in this water. It will dissolve the hulk, the external layer of the corn. It will create reactions between proteins and sugars that will develop flavors that are really exquisite and are central for what we consider is a Mexican corn flavor. Though that flavor you find in a tortilla. So once those grains are cooked, you have to boil the corn in this alkali solution and let it for 12 hours. We roast it. That's another thing that brings another layer of flavor and it can be perceived in every drop of Abasolo. So basically we use an adapted gigantic coffee roaster where we put the grains, we dry it first, then it becomes roasted, and from that roasted grain we make a flour. That flour is the base of mash. We will then transform the starches into a sweet sap that the yeast is gonna eat and make alcohol of. In that process, we decided to select to use a yeast that is not of corn, it's actually a champagne yeast, but that can tolerate a great amount of sugar and can also tolerate the high concentration of alcohol. So we have 2,500 liters copper still, relatively small compared to what you will find in most whiskey distilleries. The purpose there is to trap everything, all the flavors that corn has. In Spanish, we like to say, we want to trap el alma de la tierra, the soul of the earth. And we do it really slowly because of the high gravity fermentation, or ordinarios or low wines get up to 40% alcohol. Already, it's an extraordinary product. We don't really make hots. We take the 1 or 2 liters yacht at the very early times for flavors, but after that, there's not really something to cut. The quality of the spirit coming out of the first distillation is already outstanding. And after that, because that proof is very low to get into a barrel and extract all the properties of the barrel, spend a second distillation in order to proof it up to 62.5 ABV. And that spirit at 62.5 is what enters into the aging barrels. We decided to do things differently. We are in a very, very high area. Actually, Abasolo Distillery is one of the highest in the world. We are 2,400 meters above sea level. And here we have the luxury of a very interesting weather. Half of the year is humid, half of the year is drier. But temperatures, because of the highness, will always go really low at night and then will increase during the day. We decided to make open warehouses where the air can move freely between the barrels. Of course, this means a little bit of more angle share, but allow us to imprint the unique conditions, half of the year humid and dry, and also the fluctuation temperatures from morning to night, and allow the alcohol to expand and contract and get a unique, really rich aging process in these warehouses. But what we have right now in the market or a staple or is a really corn-forward spirit, but that has an aging time of 2 years. The barrels used are used bourbon, so ex-bourbon barrels, and we also use some new toasted, not burned, so it's not bourbon barrel that is charred. This is toasted barrel that is new with using American oak. And those are the two main types of, the two casks we utilize and we blend in the production of Abasolo. So one of the most exciting things of all the process of developing and launching such a beautiful whiskey has been creating a distillery. But we have to give credit to an artist that was able to grasp that what we wanted to communicate in the architecture of the site.
Well, probably the biggest challenge was to link and to create in a single building the whole heritage of corn, and in the other side to make a functional and very sophisticated space for an industrial process. So in that way, we ended up with a series of buildings and with a distillery and winery that in one way reflects the tradition of growing corn and storing corn and processing corn as a part of the agricultural heritage of Mexico. And in the other side, we have like a highly sophisticated distillery at a state-of-the-art building that is reflecting what we are capable in Mexico of doing. We can take our traditions, we can learn from them and react in a very contemporary way. And that was exactly the challenge in terms of architecture and design as well, to take something that is being here, like the heritage of a site, not only in terms of landscape, but in terms of agriculture and production, and to transform it into something completely new and completely contemporary.
He got inspired with corn, with the traditional way of storing corn, to make the modern, we call it the modern distillery, is really the building in which all the transformation from corn to spirit occurs. And he has done an incredible work. I believe that this beautiful distillery in this particular location, Jilotepec, that means the mountain where the corn flowers, really creates an environment that is required to educate and to produce in such a level a product coming from corn. I am very excited and pleased to have such a beautiful distillery at our disposal.
We at Casa Lumbre focus, and our goal is to create farm-to-bottle products that reflect and transmit the sensorial, biological content of what we have in Mexico. One of our most ambitious projects so far has been the creation of Abasolo whiskey. We come from Mexico, we are a Mexican company. We are known for making tequila and making mezcal and never for making whiskey. The challenge for creating Abasolo was not only in creating the product itself, which was a huge deal, finding the cacahuacintle, finding the nixtamalization process, bringing it all together for a whiskey. It was a big challenge in creating packaging that could reflect that. The tradition of Mexico in a very humble way, it's square, not pretentious. We in Mexico are easygoing people. Our whiskey is an easygoing whiskey that is great for everybody to enjoy anytime.
The purpose of Abasolo is to blend the extraordinary expression of the cacahuacintle into the spirit with the contribution of the wood, but respecting the flavors of corn. And that's where Abasolo stands. My job is to look at every lot that is produced here in the idea of making the perfect whiskey coming out of our perfect corn that only Mexico can bring to the world.